I think we all dreamt about going to space when we were kids. But when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, I discovered a void in my life. That emptiness led to a newfound obsession with space. A few years later, I wound up bidding on a Russian spacesuit as a joke. When the box arrived at my doorstep, my friends asked, "What are you gonna do with a spacesuit?" The answer? What can't I do with a spacesuit? That's how Everyday Astronaut was born. Since then, the suit hasn't left my side. It's even gone around the world with me. From remote villages in Myanmar, rockets, and spaceships. To beautiful fields in Norway. I'm fighting a cow to get a picture right now.
Here I am on vacation in the beautiful Norway with my beautiful boyfriend.
I even proposed to my wife in the suit at Machu Picchu in Peru. These days I work with leaders in the space industry to create fun and inspirational content. I've even been invited to different NASA facilities across the country, all for the sake of sharing my excitement with the world.
Hey there, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but NASA is doing some incredible... This is church for us space nerds.
This is where Gene Kranz was sitting when people first met him. This is with permission. I still don't know how. I love that I'm standing on something that says urine bags.
This thing's gonna fly like a cat in heat. Whatever that means. That dog's gonna have a sore throat by the end of the day, I'll tell you that. Especially once he tries to explain to his friends that he just saw an astronaut flying majestically through the sky for an hour.
This thing has officially become the bane of my existence.
Everyday Astronaut's mission is to bring space down to Earth for everyday people, to communicate science through humor and imagination, but most importantly, to spark your curiosity, to want to find your place in the cosmos. Join my adventures as I seek to find out why exploring space is important, inspiring, and quite frankly, really, really neat. Show your support by visiting patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, and I'm still thinking about this stupid moon race thing, guys. I almost am losing sleep over this stupid thing, but I didn't really want to get too far without you guys. Yesterday, despite making this thing a lot bigger and more powerful, our time was not decreasing, which is very frustrating. So I'm trying to figure out what the real secret sauce to this is. And we tried some nukes yesterday. We tried, higher overall delta V, but I don't know. I don't know. Thanks, Dash Dash. You're right. Day three. So I don't even know what to do. Here's what I'm thinking, is that we keep adding a bunch of stuff basically to the last few stages of the vehicle, when we probably should be adding some stuff, trying to get more additional delta V out of these top stages. That's about the only thing I can think to do. You can easily get more delta V out of, hang on, jeez, this is like painfully slow. Get over there. No, yeah, this absolutely hates me now. Oh my gosh, come on. If we can eventually get over there, I will show you. It's just going in circles. It is so over it. Please end me. For the millionth time, we can't just make a light craft. That's not that's not how this works. We can't make a lighter craft. But you know what we are gonna do? We're gonna do this. Blank slate time. I'm gonna play around with just the lander can, because at least if we start off with a lighter craft, there you go. And we're gonna drop out all the monoprop. Unless, I wonder if we do this, how much, will it actually show us how much delta V we get out of that monoprop if we have some puffs? So those things are nice and lightweight. Add a pair of these guys. Womp. Will it actually show us? 182 meters per second of delta V, probably not worth it. Yep. I need delta V and I need to be fast. So basically, yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get to that 20,000 meters per second of delta V and never go below a 2-to-1 thrust to weight ratio. I think that's the key. I don't know what you guys think, but to me, honestly, that's about the only thing I can think of at this point. Now, what about something like this? How heavy is one of these? 1.15. Because these puffs, I know they aren't the highest specific impulse, but they're a very high thrust to weight ratio, and we can get a lot of delta V out of a pretty lightweight craft. This mission is really hard. No, the mission's not hard. Getting your time down is very, very, very hard. Okay, how's that compared to if we were just to stick something like this and say a few of these little things? Very low thrust to weight ratio and a slow burn time. And only 1,300 meters per second of delta V. So that ain't good. What was this again? We only want 2 of these. 1,800 meters. That's pretty worthwhile. A room tour video. If we're to do a room tour video, well, I have a webcam, and that doesn't work very well. But maybe we will do one someday, especially when we go full screen. But I am very proud of that back wall, which will continue to fill out. No problem, John. I understand. All right, we're just gonna start like this, and this will be what we come home with. I'm wondering if one of these will be enough to survive with. Probably. Not the live room tour. You mean the actual a room tour of, I don't know. Hold on. We could come screaming in with one of these babies. But now we just increase our weight of our vehicle by literally more than a ton. No. Ideally, we don't want to have to slow down at all until the very, very, very last second with a parachute. So I still don't understand why this person keeps wanting a meme maker. No. I really hope, I really, really hope that that person, that our friend that used to be Elon Musk, is actually just one of my friends trolling me. Because that would make more sense than anything. This is a Kerbal speed run, 100%. And we, so far, have just been very disappointed in myself. Make sure these are staged properly. Turn down the ablator, there we go, yep. We'll do 80 again, or 60 seemed to work actually. That's crazy. Look at how much delta V that gives us. 2, 2, 3. Wow, like more than 100, like 130 or something. The mod hanger extender for 1.3 adds buttons, which frees your camera, making it much easier to work with large rockets. That's good to know. And Sarah, we don't actually need a suicide burn. The parachutes actually stop and work really well. That way we don't have to worry about any extra delta V on the very last return leg of the return portion of the journey. which is great. Is this even worth it? Let me try swapping out with like something like this. Slower yet. What about one of these? Higher thrust to weight ratio. Almost 1,000 meters per second. What was this? Over 1,000. And what was for these guys doing for me? 873. That's pretty bad. Let's see. My favorite NASA mission. That's a good question, actually. I think I say this often, actually, that my favorite space event ever to date has actually been Apollo-Soyuz, because it was when the United States and our Cold War enemies, the Soviet Union, we came together and we docked in space and shared a meal and a handshake and exchanged gifts. And to me, that's like the most beautiful, semi-tier worthy thing you could possibly do. I just think it shows what space can do. Is it can bring people together. I just think that's such a beautiful sentiment, and yeah, to me that is my favorite mission to date. Sorry, let me stage these betterer. Okay, so basically in 3 minutes or so, we'd be able to get up to 4,300 meters per second. Where's the video of yesterday? I didn't I keep those unlisted. I think if you subscribe, I think you might be able to see the ones, the old attempts. They're long though. I just rather people, you know, join live. But if you guys want me to post those, let me know. I can. I just really haven't done it yet. All right. So let's keep going with this. I think we're just going to stick one of these babies. That will be a crazy high thrust to weight ratio. Maybe that's too high. That'll get us there in a quick hurry though, won't it? And then we can start doing these. Yeah, turn gimbal down for sure. We'll keep it pretty low. The separatrons, if we're gonna do that, I should probably restage this thing a little bit actually, or just reorient this. Oops. Okay, there we go. Now let's make sure all the staging is correct, which it's not. I still find it weird that it doesn't calculate the delta V properly for separatrons or whatever. Separatron. What I do want to do is I want to make these separate though. Or did it actually do it there? Let's lower the thrust a little bit so I have a little more control out of these things. Just a little bit. Oh, there, it did actually calculate it. I'm going to burn these in separate stages though, so I can kind of do one at a time. Because otherwise it gets really scary. Alright. Oh yes, we are doing many boosters. This is just the center of it. Thoughts on SpaceX moon tourism? I think it's fantastic. I think I want that to become a normal thing, even if it starts off with the upper echelon of the most wealthy people. I'm really excited about the prospects of normal non-astronauts being able to go to the moon. Yeah, massively exciting. If If you're not excited about that, you're not excited about me. I don't know. We'll reverse this. Okay. 7,500 meters per second. Not bad. You think one of the tourists is Sergey? Let's see here. I think the moon tourists will be. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to think about what I'm. Actually, maybe I'll put these to the root part. I have a feeling that the moon tourists will be. Elon had a bunch of meetings in the Middle East, like right before. I think he was going to Dubai a couple times right before he announced it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's some wealthy, like oligarch or something, you know. There we go. It will not be Elon, by the way. Oh, we need this to go. We need this to fuel these. There we go. Okay, so ideally, we want all this almost to come off of the moon, which means we've got some work to do. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tuck all of this inside, and including this inside a payload fairing. I still can't believe Scott Manley got to... is that much faster. Oh, I feel slow. $9,000. And something like this. And then we'll make this, there we go. Oh, I probably forgot to, no, the good gimbals are down. There's 10,000 meters per second of delta V right there, and yeah. Let's see, what do I think the payload will be on Falcon Heavy test flight? That's, Jaden, that's exactly what I've been saying for a while. I think it'd be the coolest thing ever. Best marketing, best PR move in the entire world if they just sent some dummy Teslas. Just stripped down boilerplates of Teslas that they sent into space, put them in cislunar orbit. Oh my gosh, the footage from that would be absolutely unreal. They would have the greatest marketing campaign of all time. I would love that. I don't think that's actually what it is, but I want that. I want that to be what it is so bad. Okay, now we have to see if a payload fairing can, yeah, look at that. We're going to have a hard time with this. We're going to lower this to the ground for a second. Otherwise, it will be very hard to build. Alright. No, not bring them back. Just keep them up in space. Just keep them up there. Keep a camera on inside all of them. Put some CubeSats around them. And just let them stay in orbit. I think that'd be the coolest footage ever. And people could just go to teslasinSpace.com or something and check them out whenever they want. I think that'd be absolutely unreal. Close. Okay, there is our fairing. And inside that baby we have 10,000 meters per second of delta V to play with. I like it. Will anything replace it before? No. So, from what I understand, SpaceX is basically going to be going straight from... hold on, I better also do some massive auto strutting inside here. Part. This could probably go like heaviest part. And then I'm actually going to do some old school OG struts too. Because otherwise this thing will be so wibble wobble. Ain't nobody want that. Uh-oh. Better. Do better. Make me proud, strut. Yeah. Okay. Something like this. You know, just a little bit to beef this thing up, because otherwise, if this moves around in the payload variant, that's bad. That's that's a bad idea. Okay. Sure. Alright. Who needs moon rovers if you have Teslas? Gosh, can you imagine a Tesla on the moon? So, okay, so yeah, so back to Tesla, or SpaceX canceling Red Dragon. From what I understand, that's an okay thing, because they're basically going to go full all in. I think we're going to end up, here's what I think, guys. I think this year, Adeline, at IAC, I think SpaceX is going to just blow us away. And I think we're going to find out that Raptor is a lot further in development than we think. I think we're going to learn that they have the mini ITS a lot further along than we think. And I bet they're going to have a very ambitious timeline. Something like we're going to launch the first mini ITS, I think, honestly, even next year. Or by the 2019. I think they're going to surprise us by how far along they are in that. Yeah, that would not shock me. Alright, so we're going to go a little bit taller on this, just a little bit. Because that stage will burn out quick. I guess it's a minute 23 seconds. That's actually not that quick. And thrust weight ratio is crazy low on that. Wow, I guess it's pushing a lot of weight, isn't it? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of that. We don't want a set of mammoths to be our slow stage. We'll do my old trick. Add some vectors to a mammoth. Lower their gimbals so they don't tear themselves apart. Push them up in there a little bit so it looks cool. And now we have a 6-engine mammoth. Ta-da! And that helped. Alright. So that's true. Musk is not known to meet to meet his timeline goals almost ever. But at the same time, it's more than just Elon Musk now. He's got a lot of people on his team, a lot of hard workers, a lot of people that are doing incredible things. You know what? Somebody said, yeah, let's just screw this. Let's just do 9 vectors. So when Elon says, yeah, we're going to do something in X amount of time, he's not often too right about it. But now there's a lot more people that are working on, a lot of on the stuff with him. There we go. We'll do something like this. There we go. That's more like it. And then we're going to add these so that we can do our flip maneuver easily. We also should probably add some to some of these too on the inside. Last thing we want is a vehicle that can't even spin around and stuff. And then also, remember how we had some stages that were spinning? It doesn't matter. Why should SpaceX unput legs? So, why did SpaceX take off the legs, I think is what you're trying to say, from the Falcon, or from the Dragon V2. The biggest reason is in order to qualify the Dragon for people and even cargo, it would require a lot more work, a lot more money, a lot more time, just a lot more effort to qualify it for flight through NASA. So it's just basically ended up not being worth it, is the long story short. So that's why. That's the main reason why they got rid of that feature, is because it wasn't worth it. The pros didn't outweigh basically the amount of R&D, the time and money that it took to make that happen, to get those landing legs to work, just wasn't worth the benefit, if that makes sense. Alright, how are we doing here? We're up to 11,420. We have some kind of low thrust to weight ratios. I'm going to add some vectors to these guys. Which I've never really done this before, but why not? It's Sunday. The day of weird... How am I going to do this, actually? I think I'm going to do something like... This is attaching very strangely. Alright, then we're going to try, I don't know, try pushing this in. Cool. Ha 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 ha. Looks like an old Atlas. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Atlas, one of the original Atlases had like a stage and a half, and they would actually drop off just 2 engines, but keep pushing the tank up. It was really, really bizarre. They kind of had more of a sustainer engine in the middle, and then kind of 2 boosters off to the side. It was awesome. Today is Sunday. Jeez. You would like to see Tesla car re-entry, like the heavy metal Corvette. That would be awesome. So, let's see. How are we doing now? We are keeping our thrust to weight ratio nice and high. Gimbal limit nice and low. We need to auto strut these babies. Wait, did I just change the gimbal? Oh man, these are going to be all willy-nilly, aren't they? These vectors. I can't seem to separate. No, no. Does anyone have a trick for this? If you have a part that's like, it won't. Oh, there we go. That's what we want to change the gimbal on. Not so much the twin bores. They don't gimbal too much. But we do want to start auto-strutting this stuff. It was grandparent part was the one that was not causing the Kraken to appear, if I remember right. When an ITS crew, fuel, or cruise ship returns to Earth, would it land like how it would land on Mars? Yes, it would. It would kind of come in at an angle, use all that atmosphere to bleed off speed, and then I think it has to do that crazy pitch maneuver, which I think, you know, that maneuver right there is one of the big reasons why SpaceX is no longer pursuing propulsive landing with Dragon, is because they got to start practicing that maneuver. They have to start practicing with a vehicle that, you know, represents what they're working on. So, yeah, that's kind of why I think they're going straight into the mini, straight into that mini ITS, is basically because of that crazy maneuver. We're going to do something like this. There we go, but we want this to be turned out. No, not like that. There we go. Wait, is that right? No. That looks really weird. Is that right? That was one too far. Maybe that's even too far. Sorry. There we go. Much better. Zoom inside the bores. Ah, if I have that problem again, I will do that. Thank you. How heavy are these guys? Are these guys worth carrying up to space? Probably not. I might as well do like this, so we get fuel out of them at least. And one of these guys. Let's just full on dead weight. An F-15 once landed at high speed using engine thrust to maintain control, missing almost an entire wing. That's amazing. I've never heard that story. That's awesome. Okay, let's get this in the right place. Alright, so now we're getting serious here, folks. Now we're getting to the point where we are just at 12,000 meters per second delta V. But how are these twin bores in a vacuum? They should be the same as 2 vectors, I believe, right? I can never find it because it doesn't look like anything else. Come on. 300? Uh-oh, I didn't realize they're that bad. Really? That could be a trick right there, is getting rid of those. Those are 300 meters, or 300 specific impulses. Not ideal. Let's try something different. I think even the mainsails, although a little bit lower thrust levels, are much higher specific impulse than that. Or we could just do like 3 vectors on this. This might be a better idea. 3 vectors per engine, per segment. Should lower the gimbals right away. And copy and paste that one. I think this will be a better idea. Sort of those stupid twin bores. There we go. Let's group all these together. And you too. Hopefully this is right. Wow, that's a lot of vectors coming on here. Wait, did I do this right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare to stage, guys. An absolute nightmare to stage. But welcome to Sunday. Sunday Funday. Alright, do I know Starman music? I do not know Starman music. Auto strut. We are going grandparents. What kind of payloads will be on Falcon Heavy, as there aren't many super heavy payloads on the launch manifest? It'll be... I think they have like 5 or 6 Falcon Heavy flights in the books even, so they're probably bigger GTO birds. Probably most likely a lot of them are going to be Department of Defense stuff that we don't know about. They actually had a barricade arresting net for the space shuttle. Really? At the end of the runway? That's cool. Oh, that's very, very likely to happen, to be honest, Danny. And because of that, we are going to lower the gimbals even more. You kind of scared me. Because, yes, those things can get crazy. What do I think of that new SpaceX video? I think it was very good. I loved it. I love seeing all that stuff. I think we all really appreciated that. Getting that little insight. Very fun. Alright. So, I'm almost thinking we just go out, just for part count reasons, since we have to kind of keep that in consideration. I think we go straight into mammoths now. What do you guys think? We got the room to do it. I'm going to do something like this. Get some mammoths going right away. So I have a lot more kind of in this upper stage this time than I did before, and hopefully we can make that work. That's kind of what I'm betting on. Oopsies. 3, 3. And even these need to be auto-started. 3. And then... Alright, again, part count, for part count's sake, I'm thinking I'm going to just kind of keep it simple and do this, and then an aerodynamic shell. I do think this matters for that ascent, because we just go crazy on that ascent, and we just... Oh yeah, good idea, Mark, thank you. Launch clamps, they are very necessary. Where would I be without you guys? I'd be making mistakes, that's where I'd be, and then getting mad at myself for forgetting, and then having to spend a lot more time. Okay. Well, we're getting somewhere. We have some sections of low thrust to weight ratio. What are those? I don't remember having anything that low. That's gonna really stink, actually. Where is that? Why is it showing up? Why is it raising its ugly head now? I think none of these vector stages should have that low thrust weight ratio, but who knows? Having an astronaut run a T-38 out of fuel. Yeah. What do I think? What are my thoughts on the space shuttle? That's actually another video I'm going to be working on soon here. Kind of how the, you know, people will say all the time, well, we know reusability doesn't work because the space shuttle didn't work out. That's kind of going to be the topic of discussion, is how the space shuttle varies from what SpaceX is trying to work on. Oh, I forgot. This is going to make a big difference, guys. I forgot the cross feeds here. This is kind of key here. And by kind of key, I mean this is a huge, huge, huge key to the success of this stuff. And we also want to start grandparenting this too. But so SpaceX versus like Space Shuttle, my opinion on the Space Shuttle is that I think it was compromised because of Congress, basically. Had it been left to just the engineers to design a reusable space plane or a space shuttle system, I think it would have been great. But that's not what happened. Instead, Congress, of course, due to the bureaucracy of NASA, got involved. And here's what I think. I think the space shuttle was backwards. Instead of having... I think it made sense at the time. I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest. I think SpaceX is doing it right by focusing first on the first stage recovery for a lot of reasons. A, the first stage is the most expensive, the biggest portion of the vehicle. Look at the space shuttle. The first stage really consisted of the external fuel tank, in a sense, those main engines, and I mean, yes, they're all staged together, so it's kind of weird, and those SRBs. Instead, I think it should have been the space shuttle, a bigger version of the space shuttle as the first stage. You take a lot less payload penalty for having those wings on the first stage as opposed to the second stage. You don't have to re-enter nearly as hot, so they could have still turned around and done like a gliding maneuver a lot easier, and without as much refurbishment on those tiles. They could have used a more traditional thermal heating system and not something fragile that they needed to refurbish every single time, maybe, for first stage re-entry. And it just would have made a lot more sense. And then they could have done something cool, like had a payload bay open up and then a more traditional second stage pop out of it or something, or be strapped onto it. So that's what I think was wrong with the space shuttle. I think it was backwards. It makes a lot more economical sense to recover the first stage. It makes a lot more Delta V sense to recover the first stage. Yeah, that's my thoughts. All right, how are we doing here? Yes, they wanted to recover those expensive orbital engines, but in doing so, they had to lug those orbital engines around with them at all times. They also could have just had, say, 4 of those RS-25s on the first stage, or, an F1 or a couple F1s, or 3 F1s or something on the first stage that were recovered, and then use a much more traditional, cheaper, RL-10 or something for the upper stage. And I think that would have probably been more cost beneficial in the long run. You know what, we are going to keep these here for now. That's just my armchair analysis. I'm probably wrong. The plan was for the XS1 recovered the first stage. It makes the most sense to recover the first stage. It does not make as much sense, again, economically, Delta V, or anything to recover the second stage. There's a lot more involved in it. The re-entry heat of second stage recovery. I had that video that talks about that. And a quick reminder, if you have seen that video and you've commented on that video, I wasn't trying to solve the engineering challenge of the second stage. I wasn't trying to show a simulation of second stage recovery. I was simply trying to illustrate the challenges of recovering something from second stage and how that differs from the first stage. It's not about, yes, there is a solution. Yes, there are solutions. Mostly a lifting body is probably the most, and just like ITS is a semi-lifting body. That's what's that's probably what they're going to solve. I wasn't trying to do that, and I had a lot of people going, "You forgot this or forgot that." No, I wasn't trying. You know, we were trying to use that baseline over and over and over again to show you the complications of second stage recovery. So, yeah. So that's my rant about second stage recovery. There you go. Now you know. So, we're only at 14,309 meters per second overall. This is a weak rocket, guys. We got to keep going. Huge demand on the design was not necessary for reusable launch system. Alright, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to get rid of these launch clamps on this one. Oh yeah, haha, the delete button. Whoever told me that, you are my new friend. Okay, we're going to start doing this out here. And this. This is where this thing starts getting crazy. This is also where my computer starts to hate us more and more. Okay, there's that. Are we forgetting anything here? Oh yeah, launch clamps again. And then we're just going to copy and paste that stage. But now we do have to be careful that our cross feeds feed into the outer stages from the inner stage, because otherwise it stages a little bit wrong and it gets, the fuel flow gets a little funny. Get up there. You too. Whew. Why was Constellation canceled? Basically, Constellation was canceled in lieu of the Commercial Crew Program. If Constellation hadn't been canceled, SpaceX would not exist. That's a pretty bold statement, but I think it's 100% accurate. They realized, at the time the thought was, NASA was trying to do a bunch of things. At the time they were looking at space shuttle replacements, and they wanted to use the Ares 1 as the replacement for the space shuttle. It turns out that was still really expensive, and they said, why don't we let commercial crew try to take stuff to orbit for us? Low Earth orbit can be handled by a commercial crew. We'll start the COTS program. And then the idea was, or that's why they basically scrapped Constellation, because that included Ares. But Congress had a lot already invested into the idea of using Ares 5, which became, which essentially just became SLS. A little bit different, a little bit cheaper actually, and less, I guess, less capability than the Constellation originally was, the Ares 5 was. But basically it comes down to, we wanted to give Commercial Crew Program a try, and I definitely think that was the right move. And it's so funny because it's backwards when you think about it. The politics aside, guys, I'm trying not to be political in this statement, but in general, you know, kind of the thought process of Republicans is to privatize a lot of things. So that's one of the big arguments with, you know, even schools, public schools and private schools. You know, let the public sector take control of it, and it bring the cost down, right? And then it's typically, you know, a liberal thing to say, you know, let the government handle it. It'll be fair, basically, for everybody, right? That's kind of the idea with some things, and healthcare and things like that. And space is one of the places where that's been backwards. It was the Obama administration that pushed really hard for the Commercial Crew Program, which is basically, let's get the government out of this and let's let the private sector take control. Which again sounds more like a conservative thing to do. So that's interesting. I just think that's an interesting point. Again, I think that is the right move. Politics aside, I think that's absolutely the right move. Yeah, that's kind of how that happened. Now let me double check some things here. Wait, what am I doing? I'm losing track. Oh, I need this down here. Give me numbers. Plus signs. And then these. Yep, need to go into 20. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Get out of there, 18. I don't need this 18 garbage anymore. There we go, Mark. That's a perfect. That is absolutely a perfect summary. Government should fund exploration, and the private sector should fund basically, civilian markets fund exploitation. No, I don't think exploitation is the right word, but basically I think the idea that the government should pay for those things that are not profitable. You know, they should be doing the exploration and then leave the rocket building to the private sector, so the private sector can compete and make a profit from it. Okay guys, how are we doing now? Looks like we're starting to get somewhere with this. Is that pretty even? Yes, yes it is. Let me make sure these are still auto-started. Yep, that'd be a nightmare if they weren't at this point. I would really like to keep this part count lower somehow, but I don't think that's going to be an option. And this goes here. Alright, we're at 16,300 meters per second of delta V. Big Rat Killer, you watched me last night. It was too late for your daughter. She is here with me now. She knows what you do. Hi to Big Rat Killer's daughter. Leela, how are you? Hi Leela, thank you for joining me today. We are working on a massive rocket that we're going to try to get to the moon and back as quick as humanly possible. We're trying to beat Scott Manley, who's really, 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 really good at this. I am not as good at this. As I've proven so far for the past like 2 days, I'm not as good at this as Scott Manley is. And I don't know what the differences are. But thank you guys for saying hi. Yes, Scott returned back from the moon in his race. That's the whole point of this, is to go to the moon and back. Hey, what? Where? Hey, get back here. That's the whole point of this, is where did that go? I see like stages floating around somewhere. Oh great, this is gonna be a mess. Where are you? Where are you? Hi Pluto, how you doing? Where is that? If I hit delete, will it save me or ruin me? I'm gonna name this Dear Scott. No, I'm gonna name it Wish Me Luck, Mr. Manley. Alright. I don't... Oh, there they are. What? Why? What? Excuse me. Oh, no. How and why are those attached underground? This is bad. This is potentially very, very bad. Here, I'm going to try lifting everything up and see if I can't get that other thing out of the ground. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare, guys. So I found those stages. They're underground. Oh, no. This will lead to some funny, funny stuff. And not necessarily the good kind of funny. Why? This is probably going to not work at all. I've never seen this happen before. Well, whatever, guys. We are going to... Oh, there it is. Get out of there. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Just for future headache's sake, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rip off this last stage and see if I can't get rid of this. It somehow attached to that stage, didn't it? Are you still there? Okay, good. We're back. Maybe. Alright. What we're going to have to do... 10 steps backwards. Maybe a step forward. Kerbin, how are you? You don't think you can make much money from the moon? Tourism is not enough to warrant the expense. There's more to it than tourism, though. There's a huge economy that could boom from learning how to basically live and survive and work on the moon. This is what's happening. Wait, what's happening? What is happening? Just do your job. So here's my thoughts on basically a moon economy. There's helium-3 and there's water on the moon, and basically, just like gold rush in California at the time was like, what good is gold in California? No one lives in California. That was literally kind of the mindset in the early 1800s or whenever that was, late 1700s. It was almost like, dang it, too bad all that gold's over there in California. No one's out there to get it. That's kind of how fuel in lunar orbit or in space is worth literally a lot of money. Because if you could take something, an empty spacecraft, and then fill it up in space, that's a gold mine right there. So there will be an economy that could boom based off of a lunar economy. So there's more than just tourism. And I think that's, you know, just like I actually heard a really good thing I was at a New Space conference this year, and someone said, if you would have told someone 100 years ago that you could get on an airplane, because think about airplanes in like 1917, you can get on an airplane, and we're going to be using airplanes to ship flowers from Brazil to France, and that's going to be a normal thing. They would say there's no way that economy would work out. Why wouldn't we just use flowers in France instead of buying flowers from Brazil or fruit from Argentina and eat, you know, and then eating it or whatever, you know, somewhere else across the world? You know, they'd go, that makes no sense. It'd never get to that point. Well, guess what? Now we're shipping fruit and flowers across the world all the time, and it's no big deal. Thanks to our global economy. Huh, this is interesting that these are turned 90 degrees. I wonder if that's going to be a problem. Whatever, it looks cool. Design! Plot twist. Scott Manley is on an alt account watching this and laughing. Guaranteed that I would not be surprised. I would too if I was him. And he could make fun of me from his couch with his family, and they can all go, Daddy, Daddy, look how bad this fake astronaut is at things. I don't know why his family would sound like that, but that's what I want to imagine. Don't ruin that for me. Father, look at this plucky fool. Alright. I think I'll make an ICBM. Elon Musk. I will colonize Kerbin. I appreciate that. Alright, and how are we doing here? Is everything looking proper for staging? We're back to where we should have been about 10 minutes ago. We still need to keep going with this though, guys. We need all the Delta V possible. Ugh. My computer hates it when we get to part counts this high. Like I said, I think we honestly want to try to get up to, like, you know, somewhere around 20,000, but I don't think it's going to be possible. We have a pretty heavy upper spaceship. I'm also nervous that capsule we're using actually won't survive re-entry. First person to make that joke. That'd be awesome. An electric cargo jet would be very cool. Alright, so should we just launch this thing and see how it does? See if it's an improvement to anything we've done so far. I'm just nervous that we're not really actually improving on anything. That's my biggest fear in life, is that we're really just redesigning the horse and it doesn't need to be. And we're just making a fool of Sundays. Let's see. I'm just going to do one more here. No, come on. Come on. Sure. Tim Dodd is using his post-rock skills to keep Kerbals focused. They need the post-rock. Okay, this one here to 25. Okay, 17,169 meters per second. Let's go. Let's light this candle. Absolutely. Whew. This will take a while to load, so now's a good time to take a potty break if you need to. It'll be a long time before this thing actually fires back up. Wow. By a long time, I mean apparently a very long time. This probably would have been a good time for me to go get some more coffee. Because it will be a while. Oh, there we go. Of course. Oh, look at my launch pad. Yep. Everything looks nominal on the runway here. No need to worry. We do need to worry about the spinning beach ball of death. Oh no. I don't like seeing 5.3 meters per second. We should not be moving at any... The Kraken got us. Right away. Let's try reverting just to launch. Sometimes that'll... Who knows. I think one of the keys is I can't move it at all. Must have... Alright. I'm not going to touch the camera this time. Maybe it's superstitious, but... If you could theoretically light the atmosphere, can Earth become a rocket? I don't know. I think it'd probably go in all directions. So you need like a chamber. Hey, did we load? I'm afraid to touch anything, but I think it loaded. No, there's no way. Alright, I'm afraid we have too many things rooted to grandparent parts. And this is going to be an issue. Or auto-started to grandparent parts. Dang it. Fourth of July all over again. Do I... Yeah, if I fix the runway, will it do better? No, if pressing space would not have helped in that situation, because the vehicle has to load fully. I will fix the runway real quick, because, you know, I care about my infrastructure here, guys. Repair. Ta-da! Look at that, brand new and beautiful. Let's go ahead and load that thing back up. What was it called? Wish me luck, Mr. Manley. Okay, we're going to try loading this again. I'm actually going to take a really quick break and grab some more coffee. I'll be right back, guys.
I think we all dreamt about going to space when we were kids. But when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, I discovered a void in my life. That emptiness led to a newfound obsession with space. A few years later, I wound up bidding on a Russian spacesuit as a joke. When the box arrived at my doorstep, my friends asked, "What are you going to do with a spacesuit?" The answer? What can't I do with a spacesuit? And that's how Everyday Astronaut was born. Since then, the suit hasn't left my side. It's even gone around the world with me. From remote villages in Myanmar,
Rockets and spaceships.
to beautiful fields in Norway.
Fighting a cow to get a picture right now.
Here I am on vacation in the beautiful Norway with my beautiful boyfriend.
I'm back just in time to see it exploding again. A little bit less fireworky than normal. So I say we launch what's inside here ASAP. Light this candle. Get out of there. Free yourself. I just realized our capsule... our capsule must be upside down. Interesting. Not entirely sure why this is happening. Well, at least we're having fun. Let's go ahead and increase the gimbal on these babies. Try to give this thing some control. There we go. You're getting there. You're not getting there. You're getting there. You're not getting there. Well, what the heck? Alright, here we go. The riskiest part, the engine separation. Yep. Let's just ride this out. No big deal, guys. We're still in complete control. We're just going to let go of those just for a little flair. A little style flair. Some style points. And get rid of that, too. And that. Okay, now what are we down to? Oh, the puffs will solve it. Maybe we should just hold... oh, no. Yeah, we meant to do all that, everybody. Just so you know. Oh, press F to pay respects to Cassini. What? Why launch upwards when you can launch downwards and skip atmospheric drag? Genius. We should just go straight through the Earth. My fingerprints are smarter than you. Alright. I'm tempted to... So I'm nervous about this, guys. I like how I'm just going to keep starting over. Because I am nervous that the heat temperature... Wait. 1200... Oh. That's not that bad. Really? Has anyone ever actually tested this? Okay, this does have a higher impact tolerance. That's nice to know. Has anybody actually tested the difference between these two re-entering? I feel like the MK1 command pod does a much better job of re-entering. And honestly, maybe for that reason alone, we absolutely should use that. Because we are going to be coming in so unbelievably fast, hopefully, that we're going to need everything on our side. I'm going back to this. I need to go to the poles. You'll automatically fall to the moon. You still have to go through lithodynamic drag, which is far worse than aerodynamic drag, and the center core is hotter than the sun. That'd be amazing if Elon were to yeah, do anything like that. Obviously that's impossible and ridiculous, but that is hilarious to think about. Alright, guys, we gotta do better. I gotta do better. You guys are doing fine. You guys are doing fantastic, actually. But I'm just thinking, let's focus on getting a nice, lightweight last little stage. Everyone seems to love the Sepratron thing, so I'm probably going to do that for you guys, because it is some cheap, easy Delta V. Very lightweight. And I like lowering the thrust on them, because otherwise it gets... we want time to be able to control these a little bit. So there's 500 meters per second of Delta V. That is pretty amazing. And it barely, I mean, that barely increases our weight at all. Actually, take a look at this. 1600 versus, oh, of course it won't tell us. But each one of these things is super lightweight. So 8 of them, I don't know. It's like not even half a ton. No, we need the opposite of an SSTO. We're going purely for speed. There's no practical or any other purposes other than just trying to get there as quickly as possible. And stages and using the rocket equation, ditching weight, dead weight, and ditching it often is 100% to our advantage. Okay, so we're starting off with 1,000 meters per second in a vehicle that weighs .840 kilograms. Maybe we should actually be ditching these. So here's what we're going to do. Because again, rocket equation, rocket equation, rocket equation. We're going to do something like this. Check it. Use a lightweight decoupler. I don't know if this is going to be worth it though, guys. Use this. This thing's actually super lightweight. Stick 8 of these babies in there. And then do that all over again. The problem is, I actually don't know. I think there might be better ways to do this even. Let's make sure this is all proper. Put this up here. Get rid of this. Where's this? Okay. So how is that? And we can lower these so we again can control it better. 2.4. Oopsies. Good enough. Maybe a little bit higher than that though. Okay. Yeah, we will, good idea. We'll remove that monoprop. And did we remove that ablator? Yep. So, I don't know. Do you guys think this is actually worth the wait? So let's test this out. Let's be smart about this here. Let's take something like this. I'm going to write this down. This is how official we're getting. Notepad. Your time to shine, bud. Oops. You guys are probably just going to see a bunch of squiggles for a second. Notepad, here we go. We're gonna make a new note. All right. So here we go. This currently is 2.25 kilograms at most, and we're able to get 879 meters per second out of it. So let's see if we can't do better than that by not using separatrons. So this is where I've done this before, and I normally come to the conclusion that separatrons actually aren't our best bet. We're gonna use. People yesterday were screaming for ion, but I'll show you the problem with ion. It's actually pretty heavy, so that can get us 2,000 meters per second. It burns for 24 minutes though. That's the biggest problem right there. It is quite a bit of delta V, and it is pretty lightweight, so one thing we could look at doing. The only problem is we also have to power this, and we have to power it with quite a bit of, so we'll do like 3 of these guys. We have to power it with a lot of electricity. In order to produce that electricity, we have to add weight in order to do so. Just showing you kind of what this looks like. 8-minute burn here. So 8 minutes it'll take us to get up to 1,500 meters per second, and now we're at 1,900 kilograms. So almost as heavy as using those separatrons. Eli, we're using the spaceplane hangar because this vehicle ends up getting super wide. We don't go so tall. We're mostly going wide because we're doing crazy like asparagus staging. So 24 minutes is way too long. We want these burn times quick. You want to accelerate really quickly. I used this analogy yesterday. Pretend you have, say you're going a 10-mile race, right? We're trying to go 10 miles. And you have a vehicle that can get up to 300 miles an hour and do it in 5 seconds, like a top fuel dragster, and then can coast for 300 miles an hour. It'll finish that 10 miles really quickly, right? But the other version could be, you might have a vehicle that could get to 400 miles an hour, so like quite a bit, 33% faster. But if it takes it 2 minutes to accelerate up to that point, it doesn't matter, If it even what if it takes twice as long to accelerate? So maybe it goes from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. I'm not sure about this, but I think the top fuel dragster would actually still get there faster. I would love to know if someone knew how to do that math. But that's why. Hey D, you're right. Ionic, but guess what? I'm proving that ionic thrusters are probably a very poor way to go. So this, I'm gonna bring up my notepad here. And we're going to say this is separatrons. Ion is 19,553 kilogram, and it gives us 1,503 meters per second. So it's much better, but it also is an 8-minute burn time. And I think these were like 10 seconds or something. So this would, even though we'd only get up to 875 meters per second, think about how much longer we'd be traveling 875 meters per second longer. We'd have 7 minutes of going that much faster than the ion drive. So, in other words, it would probably never catch up. The shortest time I've got so far, Toby, and hello, Toby, is 84 minutes, I think. So we got a long ways to go. And we're really trying to test. And don't forget, this ion drive, we don't even have the solar or any kind of electrical, capability with this yet. So something like this would get it up to 2,800 kilograms. So now we're getting really heavy in order to produce the electricity needed to burn this, and 1,000 meters per second is all. So now watch this. Actually, I should probably include that in and I think you need 2 of these per ion drive to keep them running. So I'm actually going to change all this data up. So ions are 2853, and only 1,023 still an 8-minute burn. So that's ion drive. We're going to move this over. Now let's look at a more traditional propulsion for this stage. Ions work great when you have a lot of burn time and you have a really light spacecraft. This is not the definition of light. This is, this is almost a full ton. That ain't good. So let's even just look at a straight up teeny tiny little thing here and just see how much we can do with just this. So here, this weighs 1,400 kilograms, so a lot lighter. We could even do like a dual stage version of this or something, or another tank. So 1,600 kilograms. Now look at this. So this is actually way lighter than the separatrons. It's more delta V, and the burn time, it is slower. The burn time is longer. A quad ion drives. You will be faster than the TIE fighters, right? It's not that I don't trust ions. We're doing the math right here. We are proving that ion drives are too slow and too heavy. Period. So this is, which engine is this? This is the Spark. I never remember engine names. Alright, so the Spark is 1920 kilograms, so the lightest option. It's 887 meters per second and a 1 minute 28. We'll just say 1 minute 2.8 seconds. I'm going to attach those separatrons again real quick and just see what our burn time was there. Yeah, it's like 16 seconds basically. So we have the highest thrust to weight ratio by a lot with the separatrons, which is great. So there we go. That's that. Now let's take a look at some other engine options, like even just doing like a bigger engine here, a bigger tank here, and just going straight to something more like, well, even what's this going to do for us? I think this is about the same amount of fuel. Yeah, it's a little bit heavier, so a little bit more fuel, a little bit more delta V. Low thrust to weight ratio. And this is what's crazy here, is sometimes this stupid Terrier engine ends up being a great option. Way higher thrust to weight ratio. 28 seconds, not that much heavier. So here's where I just say it might just be better off to skip all the wussy stuff and just go with like a bigger stage like this. We still have a pretty high thrust to weight ratio. We have 2,504 meters per second. And we're coming in at 3.8 kilograms. Eli, we could use a lighter capsule, only a little bit lighter. The only problem is it will not survive re-entry as well as this thing. This thing you can fly in at like 5 or 6,000 meters per second, and it survives. I don't think the lighter MK1 command pod thing or whatever it's called will do that. The lander won't survive that. So here we'll do. I'll show you the problem with the Nerva rocket. Okay, so let's write this down as a baseline. So this is the Terrier. Probably misspelled it. Deal with it. 3,825 kilograms. But we have 2,504 meters per second and a burn time of only 1:52. I think that's a pretty good compromise. I'll show you Nerva now. We'll just run this real quick. So say we even do one like this. Way heavier. So Nerva. We have a mass of 6,325 kilograms. A lower thrust to weight ratio. We have 2,982, so we have a little bit more delta V, only a little bit, but 4-minute and 21-second burn time. So watch this. So here's where it doesn't pay off to use a Nerva. If we go back to this Terrier and if we just add an extra tank to the Terrier to get it to that same weight, or closer to that same weight, we'll probably end up with more delta V. So 4,900, and this was 4,000. This was 6,000, and we already succeeded. We already beat the amount of delta V and have half the burn time. So for what we're trying to do, the Nerva does not make any sense. Toby, why use a separator when the atmosphere can destroy the engine and fuel tank? Will it do that okay without destroying us? If it does, I'll consider doing that. So why use skip reentry? Skip reentry won't work very well because we actually want to come in on our first shot. We don't have time to do like a loop around or anything. We're already like doing really bad. We want to come in as fast as humanly possible. D. So stage. No, that won't work either. We just proved that the Nerva just will not work in this situation. I think literally just using the good old Terrier is proving to be a pretty decent option. It's crazy that even adding like a little tiny stage like this ends up not really being worth it. It's weird to think about. Yeah, I don't know if this is very good. Nerve is way too heavy. Yep. So again, remember, we're not worried as much. We're worried about, yes, delta V, overall delta V, but we're also just really worried about speed. We're trying to get there quickly and get there back quickly. This is a race. But perhaps this is a good mix of those two right there. So even look at this. We are, let's look at that Nerva again. Nerva, 6,000. So we're still 1,000 kilograms lighter, and we're producing way more than 3,000. We're producing 600 more meters per second, and our burn time is still just a little bit shorter by 10 seconds. So more meters, more delta V, less weight, much better. So what's LFO? Liquid fuel and oxygen. There we go. Use thuds like Super Dracos. Which one's the thud? Are those, no, puffs? I don't remember which one's the thuds. We have Super Dracos. That's cheating. We want stock parts. But here's what's even funny about this. So right now we're using, so let's say we're at 5,600 kilograms, and altogether we're at 3,600. So 56, 36 basically. Watch this. If we just replace that fuel, or that engine for fuel basically in a tank. 6,036. So actually that is a little bit better than just increasing fuel. So maybe this might be the optimal situation here for this upper stage. Are radial engines RCS still dragless? I don't know. Do I like Formula 1? A little bit, yeah. I like the idea of it, I just don't really, I don't know, don't really pay too much attention, to be honest. But I like it. I'm a car guy, but of course, from the United States, so we don't pay any attention to Formula 1, unfortunately. Formula 1 does not exist to us. Yeah, we're not going to do part clipping. So, okay, now that we got all this out of the way, we now know Separatrons are not our best friend, despite them being really, really, really fast. I think this is a pretty optimal setup. I feel pretty confident about that. So 3,600 meters per second. I think E formula is really cool. Formula E, I mean. I don't think thuds are going to be that great. Which one's thuds? Spark, blah, 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 blah. The ant, haha. Which one's the thud? What am I... Oh, this is a thud, isn't it? No. Yeah. Thumper, no. Oops. Where's the thud, guys? What the heck? Oh, that. We can try that out, but that's still just... I mean, it's an okay engine. It doesn't have the... I don't know if it's going to be better than anything else. I could search for it. Well, I eventually found it. But I don't know what advantage that will give us over anything else. We don't want to have it up here on the upper stage, because that will just be a lot of extra weight for no reason. Wheezin'. What stage am I doing right now? The very, 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 very top of the rocket. Yeah, Mark, you're right. We are very attention span limited here in the United States. If you're going more than one direction, it is too complicated. We don't trust that stuff. I don't trust like that. Here's what we're going to do, though, guys. Check this out. This is going to be the one that does it. Oopsies. Now we just got to make sure these are staged properly. 6,500 meters per second. High thrust to weight ratio all the way through pretty much. Oh, we also need to do this. This will help. Come on. There we go. 7,300 meters per second in a lightweight little thing. That's the key, you know. We want this thing to be light so the rest of the rocket doesn't have to be as big to get it up there. Yep, 100%. Lots of asparagus staging. Lots and lots and lots of asparagus staging. Okay. So back to that Formula 1 crash. Are people okay? Was it pretty nasty? I think another thing that stunk is I was using an arrow shell for a lot of time. Wait, what? And it was just dead weight, 100% dead weight. And a lot of it, too. I was making a 16-ton hunk of dead weight, you know. Hey, close off, please. Okay. Now let's auto strut this baby. Okay. Oh yeah, we also want to auto strut these too. We'll go to the root part of this, and then these will go to the heaviest part. Okay. Yeah, we are absolutely subscribing to asparagus staging. That's the way to win. Hey, the Dash. Is the Dash still in the chat room? Or somebody named the Dash? Everyone, we owe the Dash a big, huge thank you. They just became a Patreon member. I don't know if they're in this chat room right now, but if you are, thank you so much, the Dash. That honestly means a lot. I hope you join us in the Discord channel and help us with our adventures in, right now, our adventures of scripting for the next YouTube video. So, everyone, thank the Dash. If you're here, the Dash. If you're not, thank you in person. Oh, it's Dash Dash. Oh, dang. Thank you so much, Dash. Yeah, I know Dash Dash. I didn't know that you were that Dash Dash. That makes me very happy. Thank you so much. You've been very generous. Really, that really means a lot. For those of you who don't know, Dash Dash is working in Norway right now, and on Friday and Saturday sent me a nice little tip. So, and now I became a Patreon member. So thank you so much. That really means a lot. Maybe if we get, maybe with support like this, we'll end up making a streaming PC, a gaming PC that we can really go nuts on this stuff and beat that Scott Manley guy. So here's a question: mainsail or vectors? They both produce the same amount of thrust. Vectors are slightly more efficient overall. Huh, they're very similar, aren't they? Same thrust to weight ratio, actually. So maybe we'll do a couple of them. How bad are the thermal stresses on the way up? Oh yeah, we just push through as fast as we possibly can. It's not the most efficient route, but it's fast. And that's, again, what we're going for. That's kind of the name of our game. It's fast, but not efficient. Okay, so we still have a pretty lightweight thing, and we're at 8,200 meters per second. Hey, Dash Dash, if you would like, I know you're not always here, but I'm going to make you a mod because you've been very helpful. Where is that option? Add moderator. Everyone, say hello to our newest moderator, Dash Dash. The first burn should be 29.3% total speed. Really? Wait, the very first burn? What do you mean first burn? D, good luck with RSS. I had my friend Carl help out, and I'm still very confused with RSS, how to make it work. It's crazy. I had a very hard time getting it installed. If it wasn't for him, it would not be on my computer. Ethan, how you doing? So, yep, I've got a few good mods now. Alright, now here's where things get philosophical. We want to keep our thrust to weight ratio high. I mean, ideally, guys, I would like all of this for the return journey back from the moon. Which is insane. That means we have to have, like... Oh, there's no way. Even if I have... I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. But... Oh, this is making me into a maniacal person, I feel like. I'm feeling like I'm losing my mind over this stuff. Alright, we're gonna just do this real quick. It appears that our thrust to weight ratio is maybe too high. There's no such thing as too high. I don't think we can change the stats of an engine. I'm thinking that was not a very good move. I think we need to go right to the orange tanks. I'm gonna push these out a little bit more. I don't trust that. All right. That seems about right to me. All right, here we go. No, please, enemy, that's not what we're gonna do. No, we have lots of Patreons that are mods, and just so you know, please, enemy, the reason you're not a mod is, to be perfectly honest, you've been rather hostile. I'd rather my mods are friendly and fun, and they contribute nicely to the conversation. Alright, we're just going to finish this up. Send this up to here. Alright. Pretty high thrust to weight ratio the whole way through. I like this. It's looking good. We probably should start doing some launch clamps. You know, I don't know who Please Enemy is. Yeah, you know, I'm not that sad about Cassini, honestly, because it did the best job it could have done. So, it's a little bit sad, I guess, just on the purely emotional level, but I'm just so happy for it, because it just did such an awesome job. Exactly. The best time so far is like 84 minutes. We have a lot to go. A long ways to go. Alright, maybe we should start getting into the bigger mammoths now. I just really genuinely don't know. Is it time for the mammoths?
Sorry, someone. Why don't you just save the rocket and switch out the payload? That way you save time. Save the rocket and save the payload. Yeah, good question. I don't know, because by the time we dink around with all that stuff in the upper stage, the whole layout ends up kind of changing quite a bit, so I don't mind this part. This part's kind of fun. Alright, now we just got to do some of this. Some of this. Does anyone know what the rigid attachments is? I've never actually understood that. Alright. Put this up in there. Put this up here. Alright. It's pretty nice and compact so far. I'm feeling like we're... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make these go on the outer parts. This to here. Alright, that looks good, right? We just have to stage these a little bit differently. We gotta get clamps back in this guy now. Alright, how are we doing for Delta V? 15,000. Let's see. We did, here, I'll show you the numbers on the ion drive. Here's the problem with the ion drive. It ended up being 2,800 kilograms and only gave us 1,023 meters per second, and it took 8 minutes to gain that 1,000 meters per second. And versus if we were just to use a spark, which is just liquid fuel, it's 1,000 kilograms lighter, got us almost the same amount of Delta V, and 8 times faster. So when we're trying to do a speed run, we really need to pay attention to our burn times and things like that. So yeah, that's the story there. So we did test it out. Oh, we're a little crooked here. Sweet. Alright, time to get serious now. Then here's where we do this. We got to get this fuel line to go to those outer boosters since they're the next ones to drop off instead of that inner booster. It's a minor detail, but it matters. To both of those outer. Otherwise, we get into some funky stuff during staging. Okay, now we drag these down here. I think I get what you're saying about, I could almost just make the whole bottom part of the rocket a sub-assembly. This whole asparagus-y part. And attach it to something if I need to. Okay, 16,000 meters per second of Delta V.
We have a bunch of empty stages up here for some reason. Are these still... Okay. What about these? We might need these to be auto-strutted. I hate when it hides behind that. I'm just going to turn this off for a second. And how about these? Alright. Hey there, Heroes Jima, how are you? I don't know how we're doing. We haven't even got a flight off yet today. So I guess in that sense we're not doing very good. We did some proper groundwork though to really try to test out what's best for our upper stage, and I think that refinement should make some good changes. This is a nightmare. Ugh. Okay, because I think this gets won or lost by that upper stage. If you have a heavy upper stage, you're just lugging that thing around at all times. Wait a minute. That's right. Where are... There we go. I'll make sure all the staging is correct for the rest of this. Those two. Aha. You, sir, you need to go down. Okay, yep. And then these two, yep. And then this, and then those two. Okay. Let's get curves back up. 17,000 again. Alright. The early stages don't need those nose cones if it isn't moving fast enough to create much drag before they're thrown away. To be honest, even the very first stage will get up to like 400 meters per second in the first like 1,000 feet. So I kind of think honestly that we still need those stupid nose cones. And boy, oh boy, when you're going that fast and fighting against the atmosphere that much, those nose cones matter. The slipperier this beast can be, the better. Alright. I hate when it hides that plus mark from me. 17,600. Alright. Drag heating can be bad, so I say yes to nose cone. Yeah. What about that Chinese copycat of the F9? What's it called? It's called like First Page or something. It's like some hilarious title. But regardless, I welcome it to the space age. If China can add some competition, it is a small sat launcher. Oops, don't mess this up, please. It's a small sat launcher, so it won't compete with the Falcon 9. It's more of a vector aerospace type size rocket, but I'm excited. I think it's great that people are trying to do it too. Oh no, it screwed up staging! You jerk. You've made a powerful enemy out of me today, Kerbal. Not very powerful. You've made a slightly more angry than I would have been if this hadn't happened person out of me, Kerbal Space Program. Okay, I'm gonna save this, by the way. Hi, Scott Manley. I still feel like we need so much more power. Right here. Okay. Now we just have to fix this staging nightmare, which this will be a nightmare to clean up. Oh man. Those two, sure. And then this, no. These two, okay. They'll be last against. Where is that thing? Aha, okay. Give me that plus mark. You're going down here. And you two guys. Oh, this is the biggest headache I'm having ever right now. Come on, go up a stage. I have no idea where I'm putting this. Okay. Sure. No. You, and then those. Nope. Oh gosh. I need an adult. Somebody, please save me from myself right now. Oh, my brain is just exploding. Let's see. Do I ever get to jewel at 5 times gravity? Heck no. Nope. I think one time we were just trying to get to Kerbin in 5 times gravity. I don't remember. I don't remember all the stupid antics we do around here. Okay, we're going to separate these. We're just going to get all these separated so we at least know what we're dealing with. That. Okay, now we need to get that. This one. Okay, ha ha ha. It's making sense. Okay, that needs to go. Wow. Separate that. I'm guessing these are the ones that I need down here. 15. Oh, don't leave, please. You're gonna go somewhere down around here. I don't know where. Sure. So that after this. Aha. Another step. Down to here. That, and then these. And then we need that other separate single one. This one to go down here, right? Nope. One more. After 19. You're the new 19. Then these two. Is that right? Yep. Then that. Yep. Then those two. Okay, we fixed it. That was not worth it. 18,487 meters per second. Lunch is in 6 hours. What if we did something just crazy for this last bit, guys? We really got to step up our game. And perhaps this is how we do it. This is so dumb. This is so dumb, isn't it? I was gonna confuse myself even more. Yeah, let's not do it like this. I'm too scared. We're gonna just do this like we have been. Because we know how to separate this out one at a time. Yep, you go there. Yep, you go there. Down here. Alright. Is this gonna be it? Let's try this, guys. So, yeah, in case we could run multiple cores and multiplayer dedicated server could work. Alright, let's go ahead and launch this. It'll probably take 10 minutes to load. So I'm going to take a real quick little pee break. So I'm going to save it, launch it. I'll be right back, everybody.
I think we all dreamt about going to space when we were kids. But when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, I discovered a void in my life. That emptiness led to a newfound obsession with space. A few years later, I wound up bidding on a Russian spacesuit as a joke. When the box arrived at my doorstep, my friends asked, "What are you gonna do with a spacesuit?" The answer? What can't I do with a spacesuit? That's how Everyday Astronaut was born. Since then, the suit hasn't left my side. It's even gone around the world with me. From remote villages in Myanmar
rockets and spaceships.
To beautiful fields in Norway.
Fighting a cow to get a picture right now.
Here I am on vacation in the beautiful Norway.
Look it! We came back, and I think it's loading okay. Uh-oh. I say that. Might have said that too early. No! We got a clean load. On our first try! Okay. Maybe this will be the one, guys. Maybe this will be the one. Let's target that moon, shall we? Everyday pee party. You should stack them 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And that gets even more complicated. This way I can easily keep track of it. Also, all the cross feeds have to go in, then out, then back in, then back out, then back in, back out. So if I start getting it wider and wider and wider, I think that just would become an absolute nightmare. Currently, we're focused on... Hi, Scott Manley. All right. You think zooming out helps with the engine fire lag? I agree. I think we're going to try that because it's having a really hard time with this big a part count right now. All right, let's get that moon into focus. We're going to speed up here quick. There's anti-moon. Here comes the moon. Do-do-do-do. We want to let the moon go slightly past us, I believe. Like that. Okay. I think we survived that load. Quick save. How did I get the space? All I did is literally just started building, and I just started the first part up. Every part I had to select to go. You guys would like just hit D or S so that it points downward, and then from there you just keep building. And then instead of going symmetrical and going radial, you just hit R. R will switch it from only going like side by side to switching to radial. So, all right, here we go, guys. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, hip hip. Five seconds, not bad. 10 seconds. 15 seconds. There's a long warm-up procedure with these engines. It's a long process for the launch team. 20 seconds. Oh, we have ignition. It just takes 25 seconds. Not bad. I need to suit up. Maybe it is... I don't want to suit up. But if there's a chance that we're going to be... I will put the suit on if we are going to be an hour today. Jeez. This is very slow. We're going to back out even more. Stop rendering all of this stuff and just give us space. So just so we know, guys, we've been through this. When you get to this part count, there really isn't much else out there that will run that much better than this. Yes, maybe if we do a full-blown dedicated PC someday, we can get a little bit quicker than this, but not much. It's not the Macintosh's fault. It's literally actually the fact that the game is not able to handle multi-core. The game is not able to pull much from the GPU. Almost no matter what we do, it's not going to be much better. Get rid of that first stage now. Yeah, this frame rate is like my original stream when I first pulled up OBS. But I'm glad that we got a solution because that was annoying too. It's more fun to watch it. Let's watch it. Even if it slows us down. I at least want to see what's happening.
Hey, and I'll read that in a second. I gotta make sure my staging is nice and clean. 3, 2, 1, stage. Pretty clean stage there. I know that explosion sounds scary, but I'm pretty sure it's just these boosters down here exploding as they rain out of the sky. Yeah. Linus Text Tips Extreme Benchmark Video. This is basically one of those benchmarks right now. Dude, Corey, stop. I'm telling you right now, please stop, because comments like that don't contribute to the community at all. Yes, you have an opinion, but comparing someone that purchases Apple products to someone like people that live in a regime like North Korea is quite frankly insulting. So, yeah, just take a step back, man. Windows, I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. I am not an Apple fanatic. I buy Apple because I really like their design language. I really like, for me to be able to use multiple screens and panels with multi-touch platform. It's great for video editing. There's still nothing actually that runs video 4K better than Final Cut Pro on a Mac, period. There's nothing that can do it like that. Yeah, so there's a reason, man, and we all make purchasing decisions for reasons other than other people. I also have I was able to do Thunderbolt 2 well before anyone else had expandability like this, so my RAID array could be swapped out, and I could use that with my, that was the fastest I.O. I could possibly have, way faster than USB 3.0 at the time, and that would work for both my laptop and my Mac Pro. I don't regret that decision at all. It's been a fantastic decision, so there we go. Yeah, exactly, Owen Robot. Screw you guys, I'm going home. I feel like Corey might actually be the culmination of Eric Cartman in real life. He is skin and bones Eric Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Wonderful weather we're having. What do I think of the new iPhone X? You know, I am a little bit... First off, Face ID, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be great. Everyone's saying, you know, so-and-so, Android had Face ID and all this stuff forever. This is true. But the real game changer is using 3D bit mapping. So basically making it so it has to have a 3D rendering of your face. You have to be paying attention. I think it's going to be pretty fantastic. Just like Apple, the Touch ID when it first came out, people were like, oh, there's been Touch ID stuff forever. Apple didn't do anything magic there. No, we've had thumbprint readers forever. This is correct. But they integrated it in a sense that you could do it faster than you could put in your passcode by 2 to 3 times, and now it's literally instant. I mean, touch it and it's ready to go. So, yeah, I think it's going to be the same thing with Face ID. I think it's going to be really, really, really quick. I think it's going to be integrated really smoothly, and I'm excited for that. I'm also, as a photographer, I'm a huge fan. Any improvement to a camera. So having an f2.4 lens as opposed to an f2.8 lens, that's 33% more light. Also having optical image stabilization on that 55mm lens, excellent. These are things that I like to use and I use often. So I am personally excited about the iPhone X. People crap their pants when, oh, it's so expensive. This phone was also that same price. Same with if you're to get a Galaxy S8 right now. If you top it out, it ends up being that same price. I don't know why everyone's saying, oh, they're charging so much money. It's the top of a line smartphone. All smartphones have always been around that $1,000 price mark. So yeah, and I agree that I think I would love dual authentication. Actually, I would really, really, really like if they had Touch ID and Face ID. I'm a little bit sad that they did not integrate the two together. And I hate that they tend to rip off a Band-Aid before it is ready to be healed, like removing a headphone jack, or if they removed the headphone jack and had wireless charging, that would have been fine for me. But they ripped off the headphone jack before giving us wireless charging. To me, that was a huge mistake. I think that having Face ID and getting rid of Touch ID is another mistake, personally. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, though. You know, I haven't used it, so time will tell. I'm going to do a quick save here. We're having a pretty smooth run so far.
Have I done a video on my camera recording setup? I have not, but maybe someday we will, actually. I will be getting an iPhone X, yeah. I have the Apple like pay it forward program thing where you just kind of pay monthly and you are able to get new phones when they come out. And so I might as well get an iPhone X then. So yes, Face ID and PIN is available. Really cool. Yes, I agree with that statement, Mark. I agree that Apple has not innovated a lot of things, but they have popularized. They take good ideas, I think this is a general philosophy of Apple. They take a good idea, they see how they can implement it and make it really, really, really well done. I'm not saying the best, but make it so it works really well. Again, Touch ID is a perfect example. Bringing Retina type displays or really high DPI displays onto smartphones. Yes, there were other phones on the market. Actually, no, at the time there were no other phones on the market. It wasn't some brilliant breakthrough. It was just they were the first to implement that well. And I think that's kind of their general philosophy, is implementing things that are pretty predictable, to be honest, but they just want to do it right. I hope I didn't hit that one early. Come on, baby. What is my dream phone? My dream phone would basically be not having any notch at the top, because I think the notch is weird. We'll see, though. I kind of go back and forth on that personally, because I think it's like, well, why didn't they just make this screen a little bit lower? But then I'm like, well, why didn't, like, I'm glad that they put a little bit of screen up there so you can still put some of that information like battery and, you know, all that stuff up at the top and get it out of the way of your other content. That makes sense, actually. So when you kind of think about it, it's like, what's better, to have that notch or not? We'll see when it gets in my hands how I feel about it after some use. I would like the phone to be smaller than a Plus, which I'm excited for with the X. My dream phone would also have a thumbprint reader underneath the display, which it sounds like they were supposed to be doing. They were working on that for a while, but it sounds like the technology just was not quite ready to do that. But that would probably be preferred. Yes, that notch does seem like it's going to be terrible for developers. I feel really bad about that. Oh, awesome! Thank you so much, Alike. Thank you, and thank you for binging and looking at all my other videos. That means a lot. I appreciate you coming and saying hi. That's awesome. How much did it take to construct the Saturn V? I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I think it was about 1.2 billion per launch in today's dollars. I think that even factors in research and development, though, when it comes down to the end of the program, because I think the space shuttle was 1.3 billion. You're right. iPhone 10. You're right. You're right. I still can't help but say iPhone X. I just think that sounds cooler, personally. I still don't know why they even bother with nomenclature, with the numbering system at all with this phone, because in my opinion, they should just be separating it between iPhone and iPhone Pro or something like that. This is that time they should have done that when they released two separate phones, because now they have a numbering scheme that makes no sense. That's something that Apple is just like, what are you guys doing? Get smarter about that. The SA is pretty great. My brother-in-law has it, and I think it's a very nice phone. There's still just some UI things that I just love about Apple that will keep me coming back. Hey, well, thank you, Elon Musk. That would be great. I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, they really messed up the numbering scheme with the S upgrades. Oopsies. Just carrying a little bit of dead weight for a brief second there. How long is the launch? This launch, well, we're hoping to get to the moon in under 30 minutes. That's the goal. We'll see. So far, we have not been able to make that happen at all. I think the big thing is getting up to that speed really quickly. Hopefully our G meter just keeps pegging and going higher and higher and higher and higher. That's what we really need right now. And we're finally officially out of the atmosphere and into space. I'm not going to deploy the aeroshell yet because I'm nervous that it will break things. And it's really not that much weight in the grand scheme. This rocket still weighs probably thousands and thousands of tons, and this weighs like 3. So I'm not too anxious to ditch it yet. We are not worrying about real time. If we were worried about real time, we'd actually just do like a simple rocket, like a really simple, like 10-piece rocket, get it there, do a bunch of time warping. We're worried about game time. This is a game time speed run. Good question. Can a Kerbal sustain the G-forces? 3G sustained is pushing it. Kerbals can, actually with this stock game, I don't think you can kill a Kerbal by G-forces alone. Like in a launch, I don't think. They can sustain it and survive, no problem. Now, on previous rockets, this is pretty close to where we start invoking the Kraken. So we'll see how we do. Look at that high thrust to weight ratio. I love it. 6 Gs right now of acceleration. It does go unconscious? You can use vacuum options. We could use vacuum optimized engines, but they don't have as high thrust to weight ratio, and since we're racing, we're really concerned with that high thrust to weight ratio. Did I lead the moon the wrong way? I bet I did. I bet that's one of those problems I'm having too, because I feel like I... No, this is seeming about right. Test pilot can pull 16 Gs for a few seconds, but 9 Gs for 30 seconds is really pushing it. Wow. We're going to do a quick save here. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Eject that. I love how the frame rate is slowly increasing now that our part count is getting lower and lower. Beautiful. Bye, stages. Can you imagine raining that many rockets down? Yes, we are in 1G, in a 1G environment at all times. So yes, we are experiencing some crazy high G forces. Well, we aren't. The Kerbal is. This is looking good, guys. We're almost 2 minutes into flight. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, cutoff, and stage separation. No! Okay, luckily our quick save will give us a little bit of time to figure out what's happening there. I think it's when you go from a heavy object like this. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna change to like grandparent part or something. No! No! Crap, this is exactly what I was afraid of. I should have done an alternate quick save too. No! Dang it! I'm gonna try cutting the throttle right away as it loads. Yeah, we have to touch the moon and come back. But we don't have to get out. Dang it! No! No! It took us so long to get up to this point. It's a pretty shot though. Ugh! Oh, yes, 2G is 2 times Earth's gravity. Dang it, guys. I'm really quite upset. But just for funsies, since we're up here already. Whoops. Let's go ahead and go pro grade a little bit longer. Just to fire up these guys. And go. Make sure we have, might as well do a dress rehearsal of sorts. Look how, oh, this is going to be crazy. Oh, look at this. It's going to be an eclipse. This might be gorgeous, actually. Wow, this stage is fast. Are you kidding me? Wait, why is it saying 9? It does not seem like we're pushing that fast. I'm confused here. Elune, for about the 1000th time, we can't make a small craft. Because this would be a small craft right here, but remember we started this thing with 5,000 meters per second already. So, no, it's not the best method for a speedrun. Look at any other speedrun, you have to have a huge thing. We can't, we're trying to go as fast as we can and push through a lot of forces. It's just impossible. Oh man, I would love to hear. That's actually something we should try to do. We should try to reach out to Neil deGrasse Tyson and just let him rip apart KSP. I'm still confused why it says we're at 39. Jeez, that seems impossible. This stage is really underpowered now compared to those other ones. But just curious, like, how quickly would we be getting to the moon right now? 23 minutes. That's 27 altogether. Plus, we have to stop. Not ideal. I'm just playing around here to see how long we can actually get there. So, even like this, which keep in mind, obviously, I wonder if these have mass. Keep in mind that, geez, that is sensitive. That, yeah, we need to still stop. But what would our time be? Oh, wow. So if we were able to get up to 10,000 meters per second, we would be able to get to the moon in, let's find out, about 20 minutes. But then we have to stop too. 21 minutes. That's crazy that it still takes that long. Oh. Well, I don't know, guys. What are you thinking? So, no, SRBs aren't the answer either. I think we're doing it right. If anything, we still just need higher thrust to weight ratio. I know that sounds insane, but I almost think we need that all the way throughout. Especially for speed. If we're trying to get to the moon quickly, all that matters is how quickly we get up to that speed almost. You know, you can bleed off a lot of time there. Let me make sure I'm not being missed here. Hey, also, guys, we had 2 more Patreons come through. Ethan, who's in here, thank you so much, Ethan. Ethan is a new Patreon member, so thank you. And also, Joachim, thank you, too. Also to Joachim, thank you so much. That's awesome. You guys, that really means a lot, and thank you so much. I hope that you can join us in the Discord channel and help us script the videos that are coming out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to... first off, I want to get rid of... just to simplify things, you guys are going to shoot me, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a sub-assembly real quick, actually, because that's a lot of work out there. We're just going to attach all of this. Big ol' boosties. Alright, then we're just going to get rid of them for now. Okay, now this is where I think we just really want to go nuts with our thrust to weight ratio. And here too, I don't like this little thing. I think I'm going to swap this out for one of these guys. Okay, now we have a pretty high thrust to weight ratio all the way through. I like that. Alright, so let's also increase this to 5. I think we can squeeze a 5th one in there if we are smart. We'll probably have to turn off the gimbal so they don't run into each other. We can also push these out a little bit. No gimbal there, and we'll limit the gimbal to this. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Higher thrust to weight ratio. Fantastic. Name it Manley Beater. That's, oh yeah, there is no lander. We're just gonna really quickly touch down and then keep going. We might as well. Well, let me think how to do this. We're gonna do this again. They're too small. These are kind of heavy. It's probably a better way to do that. What? There we go. And we'll just get rid of all these. There we go. Yikes, that's probably going to overheat for sure. Sorry, TFW, your ideas gets ignored. Who is TFW and what are their ideas? Oh, that's what we do. We don't land. We do a touch and go. We literally just go, boop, and then take off again. You just kiss it. You kiss the moon. We don't need wheels. We don't need wheels where we're going, folks. It's probably useless weight. I'm trying to figure out how many we can cram into here without it being an overheating mess. What? Excuse me. And maybe a third one in here. Yes. Crazy high thrust to weight ratio. Now here's the deal. We have to do this, obviously. Look at that. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. Kiss the moon. Zeus, what's up? How you doing? And we need to do this. We're gonna auto strut this. We had some problems last time, guys. I'm nervous about auto strutting again. We could go old school and we could just strut the stuff down, actually. Should we try that? Oh, also we don't need RCS on these lower stages at all. Let's just do this. Is it possible to go to Mars? It's called Duna, but it's similar to Mars. It's kind of like analog. When's the next SpaceX launch? I will be streaming the next SpaceX launch. I think the next one isn't until October. Yeah. And I will absolutely be streaming it. So let's get back into... We're just going to copy this over. Okay. And then do this. Ta-da. Let's kind of clean this up. For some reason that bugs me. And let's make sure these are doing their job. Old school. Do struts like this, they actually do add aerodynamic drag though, don't they? Let's see. Would it not be better to keep the momentum by using wheels and doing something like a touch and go? No, because we aren't coming in at an angle. We're coming as fast as we can straight down and straight back up. There's no like looping or anything like that. There's no atmosphere to do any of that. The quickest place, the quickest point is straight point A to point B. No time for wiggle room. Okay. Shall we continue it like this? I feel like this is pretty crazy high thrust to weight ratio. No, I say we go into those big old mammoths right away. No more waiting around. So now we should be able to just pull that subassembly part out right now. Although I'm nervous the staging in that might be an absolute nightmare, but we're gonna try. Oh my gosh, is this right? Close. I'm not entirely sure where that fuel line is going on this one. Let's fix that. If this works, I'm going to be thrilled. Oh my gosh, the stages might actually be right. But now we have to get these down, combine these to the beginning. But other than that, 1,400 parts. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just lower this whole thing for now. Bring it down to somewhere where we can just do all this at once. Probably have to do that again. Does anybody know how to collapse it? Instead of showing me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that, I don't want that. Oh well. You're going here. 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 Guess what? You're going here. Also, guess what? You're going there. And you too. And one more. Where was it? This one, huh? Yep. You're in there too, bud. Can't escape. Alright. Oh, that ruined our delta V by a lot. Interesting. But our thrust to weight ratio is crazy high. Thoughts, guys? The Manley tipper. What do you guys think? I don't know if this is actually... Oh, no. I realize we have two on top of each other here. We gotta nix that, unfortunately. See ya. I'm clicking on it and it's not carrying. Okay. Now we just have to check staging, because I would be very surprised if it actually is alright. So far it's alright. And that, and then those, and then that, and then those. This is so ridiculous. That was right, actually. So why is this only 14,000 meters per second of delta V? That's my question. Oh. Sorry, the next launches are October 2nd and October 4th. So, yeah, there we go. Before Duna it was named Edgar. I did not know that. Well, guys, I don't know if we have time to launch this because I actually have to get going here. But what was our problem last time? We had auto strut issues. So let's make sure that these aren't... I think these need to be going grandparent part. I think that's half the problem. Is that once you transition from these really heavy parts and then it switches to something else, that's, I think, where you have an issue with auto strutting. Or should I turn auto strut all the way off and do this last one manual? Because this is most often where the Kraken gets us. Sorry. Disabled, disabled, and then disable that. Dang it. And we'll just manually strut this quick. I'm just nervous because I think struts like this actually do add weight. Oh, also look at that. That pipe is not connected. That could... Oh, there we go. We just gained 3,000 meters per second of delta V. That'll do it. That will definitely help. Okay. And we have a crazy high thrust to weight ratio the entire way through, pretty much. Should we just try it real quick? Try loading this and let her fly? Yeah, I think we should. Make sure everything's good to go. I hope those two aren't going to part clip into each other and overheat. Just to make sure they don't, I'm going to push them in towards each other just ever so slightly. Or away from each other, not in towards each other. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Now there should be a little gap there. Okay. Oh, those engines are still touching. We're going to rotate one set of engines then. There we go. I'll move this a little bit out of the way. I don't know where that other clamp went. Oh, okay. That's probably fine. Let's try it, shall we? Hit launch, order pizza, sit back and stage. That would be great. I don't know if I should have auto start on because that's when we were really getting into those problems.
Hit stage, order launch, and sit back in pizza. Yeah, we just don't want to get eaten alive, guys. That's our whole thing. Let's see how we're doing on time here. Let me check in here with the people that I'm making plans with here this afternoon. Yep, I had to leave here in about 5 minutes, so... Okay. Is it gonna load? Did it load? Have we loaded? Are we safe? Oh, I might have spoken too soon. Although Gleely is in there, and she's very happy. Very excited to be going to the moon, hopefully in about an hour's time. The Moonly Tipper. No, something happened already. Not a good sign. Does it matter that the runway is destroyed? Maybe it does. If so, let's go back to the Space Center right away so we're not wasting our time here. Oh, it hates me. This poor, poor game. We're gonna do this. Revert back to the spaceplane hangar. Get out of there. Go to the thingy. Do the stuff. Thank you, Trulls. I will change it. Unless your name is Trulies or Trolls. Oh, man. I probably don't have time for this, guys. Shoot. The runway clips through the parts. Aha. Well, let's fix that runway. And let's do it. Dang it. Alright, well, I will call you. I like Trulls. Alright. Let's load this back up and see if it will load. Wait, what did we call it? Hi, Scott Manley. Let's do it. And Gleely, you're getting in there. Am I going to order the Lego Saturn V launch chart when it comes out? I absolutely have to. Did it actually get approved? If so, I will be very excited about that, and that would be amazing. Didn't know that. Well, if we get a clean load here, I don't know if we have time to do it because I'll have to leave in a minute, so I'm mostly just curious if this will load at this point. It did get approved. That's amazing. That's so cool. Although I still have to finish that thing, so it stops looking like a lamp. 3D print your own Lego parts. That'd be pretty sweet. All right. Is it gonna? Did it load? Is it loading? Have you loaded? Are you going to load? Are you okay? Do you need a friend? Is everything okay? Are you okay? Gleely? Gleely. Talk to us. Gleely, are you okay? No! No, Gleely! That's my wife, Gleely! Get out of there, Gleely! Please! You're so young still! Please, Gleely! No! Gleely! Beautiful. Gleely, stop. You're fine. Just walk away. Walk away. Put the rocket down and walk away. No big deal. Literally no big deal. There's just billions of pounds worth of explosions potentially right there. And Gleely walks away. Gleely,
You are officially the most amazing astronaut of all time. Gleely, take a bow at 2 frames a second. Everyone, let's hear it for Gleely. This would actually be a pretty great screenshot. I probably should take this. Let's see, zoom. I'm gonna make her run this way. Gleely, I'm so proud of you. Alright, screenshot this guy. This gal. That's not a very good shot. How do I do that fit? Yeah, there we go. The ground clipping looks so weird. How do I hide the UI again? F2 or something? Yeah! Hey, look, I remembered something. Well, let's do it the opposite way. Let's go like this. Come on, photographer. You can do this. Is there a way to make the camera look up without... you could do a launch abort tower, but we don't need it. That's extra weight. Alright, that's pretty decent. That'll be the this will be the screenshot for the next time. Alright guys. Middle mouse button. Oh. Look at that, you guys! You guys teach me way too much. I don't deserve everything you guys give me. Gleely, look at how beautiful your spacesuit is. Well maintained. Oh, look at that shot. Okay, that's gonna be the one. Well, guys, thank you again so much to all your help, and thank you so much to those new Patreon supporters. Guys, that honestly means a ton. Again, if you guys are bored and you want some fun stuff, don't forget I do sell mugs and hats and shirts and stuff like that on my web store, everydayastronaut.com/shop. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I don't know when the next time I'm going to stream because I have to be scripting. So if you're in the Discord channel, pay attention, get ready to help, do some proofreading and fact-checking for me. Yeah, that is great. I love when you guys help out with that stuff. It really means a lot. So again, also, if you want to join the Discord channel, you can become a Patreon member, patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Thank you to those 3 of you guys who became Patreon members today. That really means a lot. So, all right, everybody, have a great rest of your weekend, and hope the rest of your week goes well. I will be putting a new video up this week for sure, so stay tuned for that. When it happens, when that video comes out, please make sure and share it. If you're on Reddit, which I think a lot of you probably are, and if you see it up on the SpaceX subreddit or something, give it a quick little upvote. That means a lot. So, and thank you, Pluto, for becoming a Patreon member. That is amazing. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. See you guys.
I think we all dreamt about going to space when we were kids. But when the space shuttle program ended in 2011, I discovered a void in my life. That emptiness led to a newfound obsession with space. A few years later, I wound up bidding on a Russian spacesuit as a joke. When the box arrived at my doorstep, my friends asked, "What are you gonna do with a spacesuit?" The answer? What can't I do with a spacesuit? That's how Everyday Astronaut was born. Since then, the suit hasn't left my side. It's even gone around the world with me. From remote villages in Myanmar,
Rockets and spaceships.
to beautiful fields in Norway.
I'm fighting a cow to get a picture right now.
Here I am on vacation in the beautiful Norway with my beautiful boyfriend.
I even proposed to my wife in the suit at Machu Picchu in Peru. These days I work with leaders in the space industry to create fun and inspirational content. I've even been invited to different NASA facilities across the country, all for the sake of sharing my excitement with the world.
Oh my God! Hey there, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but NASA is doing some incredible... This is church for us space nerds.
This is where Gene Kranz was sitting when people first met up. This is with permission. I still don't know how. I love that I'm standing on something that says urine bags.
This thing's gonna fly like a cat in heat. Whatever that means. That dog's gonna have a sore throat by the end of the day, I'll tell you that. Especially once he tries to explain to his friends that he just saw an astronaut flying majestically through the sky for an hour.
This thing has officially become the bane of my existence.
Everyday Astronaut's mission is to bring space down to Earth for everyday people, to communicate science through humor and imagination, but most importantly, to spark your curiosity, to want to find your place in the cosmos. Join my adventures as I seek to find out why exploring space is important, inspiring, and quite frankly, really, really neat. Show your support by visiting patreon.com/everydayastronaut.